Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview, a big weekend of Premier League and Championship action coming off. I'm starting off with Everton versus Newcastle. Everton, of course, picking up a draw in the weekend. Newcastle, yet another loss, and the pressure is really growing on Steve Bruce at the moment, isn't it? So I do think Everton will have the advantage here. I think they're a lot better team at the moment. So I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Everton. I think they'll continue their relatively good form. Crystal Palace take on Wolves at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace are an interesting one, to be honest. Not on a great run recently at all, really. But you could say the same for Wolves, although they did pick up a really good point last time out at Stamford Bridge, so they'll be looking to build confidence on that. But I just can't see them winning a game at the moment, to be honest. I can't see either side winning a game at the moment, so this is a really interesting one. I am going to say a draw, and I'm going to say 1-1. Manchester City host Sheffield United, and what you would have said before Wednesday would be the biggest banker of your life. But of course, Wednesday's incredible result for Sheffield United has put a little bit of doubt into that. But I still think with the way Man City are playing and the way Sheffield United have been playing recently in comparison, I can only see one result here, and that is a really comfortable win for Manchester City. I think it's more a case of whether it will be 2 or 3 or 4-0. I'm going to go in the middle. I'll say 3-0 to Man City. West Brom host Fulham, and what is an incredibly big game down at the bottom of the Championship Premier League. Could well be Championship next year. West Brom in 19th, 7th in safety. Fulham in 18th, 5th in safety. So both of these teams really need to start picking up wins, and it's looking quite ominous for both teams. But I do think Sam Allardyce just has that little bit about him, and these are the sorts of game I can see him winning. I think it'll be shit out, but I think he'll win 1-0. Arsenal take on Manchester United at the Emirates. Arsenal, they're starting to pick up now, aren't they? Really good win at Southampton last time out. So yeah, they'll be high in confidence. Manchester United, it's all about how they react from that quite frankly, embarrassing home defeat to Sheffield United. Arsenal really isn't an easy place to go at the moment, so I think it will be a close game, and I think the score will be 1-1, let's say. I think it will be close. Next up, Southampton host Aston Villa on Saturday evening. Southampton, they're doing quite well at the moment. I'd say it'll be interesting to see how they react from their defeat last time out against Arsenal. Yeah, that will be interesting. Burnley, they beat Aston Villa. They really shouldn't have lost that game, so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that as well. So it's an important game for both sides. I'm going to say 1-1. I think this will be close too. Chelsea host Burnley, and to be fair to Thomas Tuchel, I don't think he did too badly on his first game in charge. But here, these are the sort of games you really have to be winning, whether you 2 days into a job, 2 years into a job, or 2 decades into a job, if you're Chelsea, really. And I do expect them to get the win. They did look much better on the week, so I do think it will be a win, and I think it will be fairly comfortable. I'm going to say a 2-0 Chelsea win. Next up, Leeds travel to Leicester. Leeds obviously picking up a really crucial win last time out after 3 defeats on the trot in all competitions. As for Leicester, they were unbeaten in 5, winning 4 of those games, of course drawing last time out, and to be honest, I do think they've got far too much for Leeds here. And I think the way they play will suit against Leeds as well, so I think it will be a comfortable win for Leicester. I shall say 2-0. West Ham take on Liverpool at the London Stadium, and what a season West Ham are having. They've won the last 6 now in all competitions, just incredible. Liverpool picking up a really crucial win at Tottenham. Boy, they needed that, and it'll be interesting to see if they can continue it going, because West Ham will not be an easy test at all with the way they're playing at the moment. So it'll be an interesting match to see if they can keep it up, and I do think it will be a draw. I think West Ham will fight, and I do think they will get the draw. But anyway, next up, Tottenham take on Brighton at the Amex. Tottenham in 6. They were really poor last time out, in my opinion, against Liverpool. They really do need to change it up a bit. Brighton, as for them, disappointing 0-0 home defeat at Fulham. They would have really been expected to win that. And I do think Tottenham will have a bit too much for them here. So I'm going to say a 2-0 Spurs victory, I think. Moving on to the Championship now. Reading host Bournemouth on Friday night in what is a huge game at the top of the Championship. And I think this will be a win for Reading, to be honest. Everything just goes in their favour. Bournemouth are playing a full-strength team 3 days before in the Carabao Cup, whereas Reading have had a clear week since that disappointing 0-0 draw at Preston. Their form is really good. Bournemouth is really poor, so I think every win points to a Royals win. So I'm going to say a Reading win, and I'm going to say 2-1 to the Royals. Norwich host Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, they're on a really dodgy run of form at the moment, it's fair to say. They've lost their last 3 home games now against Birmingham, Blackburn and Rotherham. 3 games where they could and should have maybe won, to be honest. And now they are starting to slip away from the playoffs. They're 3 points off, but they played a game more than all the other teams. And Norwich, what a hard fixture that's going to be. I can see them getting beat 2-0 as Norwich carry on their march to the Premier League. Anyway, next up, Birmingham host Coventry at St Andrews. Home game for both of these sides, of course, this season. Birmingham, they lost 1-0 to Preston last time. 4 losses in the last 5 and 1 win. Coventry, what a big win that was last time out, just to relieve some of the relegation fears against Sheffield Wednesday. That was huge for them. And to be honest, I just can't call this match, to be honest. I think it'll be really close. I do think Brum will get the win now. I think it will be close, but I can see Brum getting a win. Next up, Blackburn host Luton. And Blackburn, they really are starting to get into a bit of form at the moment. Unbeaten in 2 games now, 4 points from it, so they're looking quite confident. 4 points, 6 points off the playoffs. So you never know, if they keep on running good form with the likes of Dak, Elliott and Armstrong, they could have a chance. Luton seems to be slipping away a bit, so I can only see a comfortable 2-0 home win for Rovers here. Brentford take on Wycombe. Brentford, they'll be gutted they didn't win midweek. And I think this is the sort of game where they simply have to be winning. Wycombe, they're trying their hardest, they're huffing and puffing, but if we're just being honest, they're just not Championship level. So I can only see a really comfortable win for Brentford here. And I think this will be a really important game for Brentford to make a mark and have a utter thrashing. I think it will be 3-0 to the Bees. Next up, Millwall travel to Cardiff. Cardiff, of course, under Mick McCarthy now. Great comeback last time out. That will give the team low on confidence a world of good. Millwall, they picked up a really solid point against Watford. They can take a lot from that, especially with Watford's recent form. So Cardiff, though, I do think with the manager bounce, I do think they will have just enough to edge it. I think it will be 2-0 to Cardiff here. Derby host Bristol City at Pride Park. Derby, they've won their last 2 now, believe it or not. Incredible run. Bristol City, they've also won their last 2, won 4 of the last 5. So it's looking really promising for them at the moment. And I think if they keep this up, there's no reason why they can't mount a playoff push. 3 points off it at the moment. But to be honest, I think Derby are on good form at the moment. They're hard to beat under Wayne Rooney, so I think they will share the spoils. I'll say 1-1. Huddersfield take on Stoke in a game between 2 teams who are really struggling at the moment. Huddersfield have lost their last 5 on the trot, and Stoke have picked up 3 losses in the last 5 and drawn 2, so both winless in their last 5, and both need a result desperately. Huddersfield, they just need to steady the ship and make sure they don't get put in a relegation battle. Stoke, they just need a win to stay in with the playoff shouts, but I just think this will be a really scrappy, edgy game, and I can see a 0-0 ball draw here, to be honest, between 2 sides low on confidence. Barnsley, they're in action against Nottingham Forest away, and this is an interesting one. Nottingham Forest, they were going on a really, really good run, but then they've come into 2 losses in the trot, so they'll be looking to change that quickly. Barnsley, they'll be gutted not to beat Cardiff last time out, and with 2 losses before that in the league, it will be interesting to see if they can come back from that. I think it will be a close game, but I can see Forest getting the win just to change their fortunes, but I'll say 2-1. Rotherham host Swansea. at the New York Stadium. Rotherham, of course, they're in really good form at the moment for a team fighting down the bottom. Unbeaten in 3 games, winning 2 of those. Swansea, they've won 4 of the last 5, of course drawing against Brentford, but they were incredibly fortunate if we're being honest. So yeah, this will be a harder game than Swansea were expecting, but I still do think they should have enough quality to see it over the line. So I'm going to say a 2-1 away win. Sheffield Wednesday host Preston at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday, the situation's looking pretty ominous for them after really poor defeat last time out. 5 points, 6 points from safety. Yeah, I do worry for them a little bit. They still haven't got a permanent manager throughout the whole of January, which is really poor. Preston in 11th, 6 points off the playoffs. I think they'll still have dreams of that. But this is the sort of game they'll need to be winning. But I can see Sheffield Wednesday getting a really solid point here. I'm going to say 1 apiece. And finally, Watford host QPR on Monday. Watford, they're in really good form at the moment, but I think they would have expected to beat Millwall last time out, but it just wasn't to be, I suppose. QPR, they're not doing too great at the moment. Really disappointing defeat to Derby last time out. They really need to pick up wins. Still only 4 points clear, so they're still under threat. But I can see Watford getting a comfortable win here. I'll say 2-0 to Watford. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.